It was to be expected that the stubborn populist Boris Johnson would not rest. People in Great Britain are now feeling that Brexit does not only bring benefits, as their Prime Minister has promised again and again. Johnson also noticed this and resorted to blackmail. Johnson suddenly wants to renegotiate part of the Brexit agreement with the EU, and that's not all. The UK government is indirectly threatening to unilaterally suspend parts of the treaty. It's a shabby style of negotiation, but we're used to that by him. It's difficult to believe that British policy in the dispute over the Northern Ireland Johnson Protocol is honest. The deal, which effectively separates the region kind of from the rest of the UK on goods trade, was signed by Prime Minister Boris Johnson's request. It was an essential prerequisite for the completion of Brexit at the beginning of this year, which was so important to him. In 2019, Johnson won the general election because he made Brexit possible with a deal including Northern Ireland. The Northern Ireland Johnson Protocol was great, he said at the time, and Brexit only has advantages, but that is all now forgotten. At that time he praised the agreement in the highest tones. Now he pretends not to have known what the consequences would be, criticized Labour MP Louise Haig. It was either bad faith or incompetence, she said. And yet there were problems with the implementation practically from the start on the British side, which, among other things, led to infringement proceedings by the EU. Now, just 7 months after leaving the EU completely, London is even demanding that the protocol be suspended and renegotiated. You can't get rid of the suspicion that the British government never really intended to abide by its rules. The actual establishment of a customs border in the Irish Sea is no small matter, but in the end it was a compromise to keep the inner Irish border open and still allow Great Britain to exit the internal market and the EU's customs union. Among many bad options, it was an acceptable solution. Everyone involved was aware of that. It was also clear to everyone that it did not fit in with the fairy tales of the Brexiteers and would be at the expense of the Northern Irish economy. There is no reasonable reason why the EU should now abandon a regime that is in the interest of its member Ireland and protects its trade. With the threat of quitting everything, Prime Minister Boris Johnson tried to force concessions from the EU during the Brexit negotiations. By repeating old demands emphatically, Frost wants to wear down Europeans. Won't work. The EU would do well to meet Johnson's provocations with a clear stance. There will be no renegotiations, but a common search for a creative solution to the problem within the protocol. That is correct and makes the difference between diplomats and populists. Internal treaties, as has been the norm up to now, are not renegotiated every few months. Johnson may see it differently and may remember Donald Trump, who unilaterally terminated the nuclear deal with Iran. But imitating Trump is a bad idea. As is usually the case in such cases, the Brexit agreement is only an agreement on the lowest common denominator. But a contract is a contract and remains a contract. Period. And I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.